late and why it was your fault, but I didn't have any, so I figured we'd just start.
I was too drunk.
Right. All right, and we're live. Wow, YouTube is YouTube is rocking and rolling today. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 189, your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night, or in podcast form over on Anchor.fm or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, probably some Star Trek tonight, as there's not a lot on the agenda. All super chats are rad on the air, so long as they are appropriate and I feel like reading them. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? If you want to take part in the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon or Float Plane. Links are both down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to the Discord server where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and take part in the ever-growing community over there.
And it's growing.
Ever-growing, ever awesome.
That's right.
And I don't just say that.
No. It is a super, super awesome community.
I would be there even if people didn't pay me to be there.
And a lot of people are not paid to be there, and they're there.
Yeah.
There are even other channels that their hosts show up at your Discord.
Yes. So what's going on in the cool one?
Yeah, basically. So what do I need to do in my chat room, guys? Huh? Yeah, you want to join my chat room? That's cool.
Jeff is off his intro game tonight. I'm off a lot of games tonight. Man, it's been a week already. It has been hot here. Luckily, we got a couple days of reprieve where we were only like 90, and
yeah,
I took those opportunities to go help a family friend of mine run 1,000 feet of aerial fiber. So I was 10 feet off the ground for much of yesterday, stringing that up. That was fun. Yeah, and that was the cool day. And then this coming Saturday, at that same location, I will be live streaming a wedding at 3:30 p.m. where the estimated temperature will be a balmy 107 degrees.
Yep. And when he means live stream, not on the Discord or here.
Right. Yeah. No, it's just a family. They have family over on the East Coast, and so we're gonna take care of that. But yeah, man. I was gonna say I feel sorry, but no. Yeah,
me.
no, you don't.
No, I don't.
After all of the suffering I like to put you through, you like to see me get mine just as much.
I'm gonna like throughout that time just text you like cold pictures of ice cold beer, me drinking it, like this is great.
Now it's not a dry wedding, so that's good.
But my beer will be ice cold, and I'll be in an air conditioned area.
Tripic, $5 Read this on the air? You bet I will. Thank you so much, Tripic.
Oh, my fridge is on. If no one can hear it.
I can't hear it, so I call it good.
Good, because I don't want my beer to get warm.
Yeah.
I did accidentally leave it off was it yesterday, and all my beer was just sweating.
Oh no.
And I went to got off work, like I can't wait for a cold beer. I need a cold beer.
Yeah.
And I get to it, I'm like, it's cold, but not cold enough.
Yeah.
I was like, this
it's not what I wanted.
Not what I wanted. And that's where all my beer was at. And I'm not about to go put ice in some beer.
Gosh, who was that character on Matrix? APOC?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you got home, opened your beer fridge, reached in, and you went, not like this. Not like this. Then your eyes just roll back in your head. Yeah. Speaking of beer, we do drink them on the show, and let's get on with it. John, what do you got planned for tonight?
It is very warm in my garage. I think all the other hosts sit inside their house or slash office. My streaming system is in my garage where there's no to little insulation. I thought I'd start things off with something a bit more refreshing. I know a lot of people like IPAs, but I do like a good traditional barrel-aged sour. So this is Table Maker from Variental Brewing Company. It is a oak-aged golden ale re-fermented with cherries.
Interesting.
So I looked this up. There's only 73 check-ins of this beer.
Wow.
And I can already see yeast at the bottom.
Oh, I can see it from here.
Yeah.
I can see it swirling around right there.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's going to be good. I do love a good cherry sour.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pink.
Oh, wow. No, barrel or oak aged, golden ale. Oof.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
With cherry. There we go. Ooh, that even smells good. That's nice. Not super tart. Hey, there's a tartness, and it's nice, light, and kind of watery. A little farmhouse, but not overly skunky. Mm-hmm. A little bit of that oakiness. There's a dryingness at the back end, which is very nice. Exactly what I wanted here.
Nice.
And because end of the show, I'm probably going to be sweating.
Let's see. It is 68 in my office right now.
Yeah, not mine.
So I can do things a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder. So first up, we have an Anchorage.
Oh.
Let's see if John can...
Yeah. Oh, I love those.
Yeah, this is the Anchorage Get Thicker Skin.
I don't know if I have that one.
Really?
I don't know if
I beat you to one.
Yes.
Double dry hop with Rawaka and Galaxy hops. 8.4%.
Oh, I did have it before.
Okay. See, I thought you had had this one.
I did.
I thought you checked this one in like last summer or something.
Yes, it was. It was last October.
Okay, yeah.
So I liked it.
Great.
I gave it a 4. So
okay. Ooh, wow, pineapple.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I was wanting tonight. I was wanting something
tropical.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't need to be crisp and refreshing, but I kind of wanted like a big citrus bomb. So hoping this one fits that bill.
There we go. Go send my.
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
I'm telling you, Anchorage, they make some of the best IPAs right now. Oh,
that is fruity all the way through. Yeah, like guava pineapple juice is what this is. Oh, I am a fan. All right. This is normally the part of the show where we move on to some tech news.
Yep.
But there's not a lot going on this week. And by not a lot, I mean like nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I poured too much. I poured yeast in.
Oh, no. So I guess the big stories for the week are AMD FSR. So the upscaling tech to compete with DLSS. And just a couple hours ago, it was reported that John McAfee was found dead in his prison cell. Just hours after being approved by Spanish authorities for extradition to the U.S. for tax fraud.
Yes.
That's about it as far as like tech news goes.
Yeah. He's been Epsteined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take that how you want to.
Well, I don't think either one killed themselves. But
no, I don't think so either. Didn't he tweet like 2 days ago? I am enjoying myself and living well.
Something.
I'll never kill myself, and he even got a tattoo.
That was 2019. That was 2 years ago.
Okay, but still
swacked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. This is gonna be another one of those. mysteries. Although he was an odd guy.
Yes, he was.
He was out there, always putting weird videos and tweets and stuff out there. Like, what are you talking about? You're weird.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a very eccentric guy.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. And Krustov points out that AMD also said goodbye to some older graphics cards from the Radeon 7200, 300, and Fury series. So unfortunately, John, your 7870 that you have in the desktop in your house, that is officially end of life.
Oh. So it's a collector's item, is it?
It is. Suddenly went up in value. All 2 gigabytes worth of it.
I know.
Yeah, I did see that. So yeah, that does include the 200 and 300 series RX cards. So your or R7, R9 cards. So the R9 270s. I think you have one of those in your VR rig as well.
Yes.
So yeah, an R9 270, R9, 390s. Those are all part of that same family. So yeah. Isn't McAfee now bundled with Windows 11?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the tech news goes. And so I went, well, we can spend 30 minutes on that, although I have had 0 time to test out FSR, so I couldn't really give any firsthand accounts of it. And yeah, John McAfee passed away.
That, it happened 2 hours ago or
yeah
now?
So it's like, sorry, I didn't have time to write an entire expose on his life, although
yes,
go read some exposés on his life, because holy crap, that dude was equal parts brilliant and insane.
Yes. 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 Even though the virus protection sucked. It wasn't his, though. I mean, he gave that up a long time ago.
Yeah. And if you've never seen the John McAfee tells you how to uninstall McAfee antivirus. I can't link it here, and it's probably not safe for most workplaces, but it is on YouTube, so it's not that bad. But it's basically them giving you instructions on how to uninstall McAfee while McAfee is snorting coke in the background. It's it's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all we had planned. So thank you so much for watching episode 189 of Talking Heads. 189. Yeah, today we're pretty much just going to field questions and talk about what you guys want to talk about. The floor is...
Why couldn't the Picard trailer come out this week?
I know, right? Well, we can still talk about that because we only briefly touched on that last week.
I was watching and I was like, what are you guys doing? There's so much to talk about.
Where's my frame-by-frame overreaction?
Overreaction
podcast.
Every analyzed thing. See that prop in the background? That was from episode 2 where Q first came back. Obviously, it means this.
Well, see, the opening scene for Picard Season 1 was actually a foreshadowing of Season 2 when Data has 5 queens.
Oh, yes.
It's all the Qs.
All the Qs.
It's the Q continuum. That's...
I mean, I can go out there in some theories, and if we can get into it later.
We'll get into those weeds later. Otherwise, we will sit here and talk until midnight.
Oh, yeah, we totally could. Just on the trailer.
So, first up, Steven has a $5 donation. Thank you so much, Steven. I do appreciate it. Proxmox boot drive is failing, part of LVM. Can I clone it with Clonezilla? I'm not sure if Clonezilla will do ext4 disks. Does anyone know offhand? It does support ext4, and so yes, technically you could Clonezilla it so long as you get a good copy. Though, what I would alternatively do, if it were me, because Proxmox itself and the wonders of hypervisors is there's not a ton of configuration that goes into the hypervisor itself. Most of it usually sits in your virtual machine files. Is simply make sure you have all of your configurations backed up for all of your VMs, which should be part of your best practice anyway. And then just reinstall the latest version of Proxmox and then re-import your VMs. You should be able to re-import your storage disks and all of your VMs and all of their associated settings. Now, if you do get into things like PCI Express pass-through, IOMMU, multiple NICs, and whatnot, that gets a little bit more complicated. But if we're talking like a strictly home lab situation where you have a flat network, one interface, and you're just running VMs on Proxmox, I just reinstall it and save yourself a whole lot of trouble. Clonezilla can be fussy when your hard drive isn't the exact same size, though. Yes, it can. You can go up in size, but you cannot go down in size. And so if you're going from a 64 gig boot drive to a 128, that's possible. If you're going from a 128 to a 64, no. Almost no clone software will do that. Clonezilla struggles with Linux sometimes, in my experience. Yeah, they do say they have support for ext4. I have used Clonezilla before for a number of exFAT disks, and used it a lot for some Mac formatted stuff, if I remember correctly. I think that was one of the main tools that I used back then. But yeah, I would honestly just wipe it and go fresh, because otherwise you're going to have to deal with headaches if they arise from a failed clone process, and you may not know it right away. So all right. What else we got to talk about? What's going on with you, John?
Oh, nothing. Just having my typical days at work. You know,
I saw your toner cartridge that exploded.
Yeah, that was a fun after. Oh, you know what I hate. So I get in, and it was like 9 o'clock ish. No, I didn't get in at 9 o'clock ish, but you know, it is 9 after I got in. I've had a little bit of my coffee. My first cup, you know, and I get a phone call saying, "Hey, do we have any extra printers?" I was like, "Well, what do you need it for? You know, if we do, it's probably like a little personal printer, nothing big." Like, well, you know, all the printers are down. Wait, what do you mean all the printers are down? Yeah, like 3 of the printers that we use all here on the main sales floor are all down. Well, wait, what? Why didn't anyone tell me? Oh, we already called the guy, but he's like 4 hours out.
Yeah.
Why didn't you call me?
Yeah.
You know, half the stuff I can go and probably fix myself. And it's like, well, one's been out for like a week. Okay. and the other 2 just went out. Like, okay, well, hang on, let me go look. And yeah, one was just ink toner cartridge full. Yeah. Oh, okay. I can fix this. Why didn't you call me earlier? Right. You know, you could have had a printer 3 hours ago. The other one was an empty ink cartridge.
My favorite response to things like that is, I don't see a ticket.
Yeah. So, but then it was just one of those like, you guys have been sitting around for 3 hours complaining you don't have printers, making the IT team look bad, and basically saying, we didn't want to call you because we know you're busy. And
yeah.
And so all of the sales and management is sitting there thinking, oh, our IT team is horrible, you know, or not doing anything. And it's no one even informed us. Then I get there and do it, fix it. And it's one of those, dang it, the toner explodes, you know, or just slipped out of my hand. It just slipped out of my hand. Like, you're kidding me, man. Seriously?
No. Let's see. When I started in my help desk position back in 2007, one of the help desk tasks, and I was brought in to kind of work the help desk, but also manage and improve infrastructure and processes with the help desk. So when I started in 2007, one of the tasks for the help desk personnel was to refill toner cartridges because it was a lot cheaper to do it that way. And so we had a full cart of black toner in bags down below, and on top of the cart was a soldering iron that had been modified with basically a hole cutter. So you would melt a hole into the side of the toner cartridge, and then we had plastic plugs that you could put into them that you could open the cap on them and then fill them with refilled toner. I did that for a day, and I went, that's the last toner cartridge we are ever going to refill. You don't pay me enough to keep going through pants. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah. Like, nope.
Nope. Well, luckily when I did it, I jumped back. So I was like, great. You know, I had that reflex. I was like, no, jump back. Yeah. I'm not going to try to catch it. So, but yeah, it was just one of those. And then, you know, people in other departments call me like, hey, why aren't these people doing anything? It's like, I don't know. It's not my department.
Yeah.
They don't notify me. Why are you asking me? This doesn't make sense why you think I know the answer to your problem.
Yeah.
Sales management does not contact IT when they decide not to use a program.
Yeah. No, they contact IT when they said, hey, we bought this program for like $300,000 and we need you to implement it. And you're like, that doesn't solve the problem you wanted to fix.
Oh, I know. Oh.
But okay.
Oh, I just love that one of them went and like, we needed better internet. So I went and used my own money to buy a wireless router. How do I hook this up?
Yeah.
And then they give me the model, and then when I look it up, like, that's not going to solve your problem. Yeah. That's a piece of junk. That's meant for your house, and that's a really bad one for your house. You know, that's gonna do like 5 computers.
Yeah. Let's see. Kevin, $5 donation. Thank you so much, Kevin. Could you please explain the end of life of the AMD cards? Does that just mean they will no longer be optimizing drivers going forward? That means they will no longer be publishing any new drivers for those series cards. So that was AMD 7000 series, the RX 200 and 300 series, as well as the Fury series. So your Fury Nano and R9 Fury and things like that. So yes, there's no optimizations, but there's also no new drivers. So the most recent driver that you got is the last driver you're going to get.
So it won't break anymore.
Right. Exactly. Jacob sends over a $5 donation. Thank you, Jacob. Looking for management software for a few HP 5500 series switches. These aren't ProCurve. Anyone know of any? It all depends on what you're wanting to do as far as management or monitoring or whatever else. The HP 5500 series, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I believe these are CommWare switches. I'm much more familiar with ProCurve myself. I had a guy who handled CommWare crap for me. So I'm not overly versed in any centralized management system for CommWare switches. If you want management, or not management, but like monitoring of switch ports and like a centralized monitoring system, you can get something like PRTG, which is free for up to 100 devices. And then pretty reasonably priced from that point on. And that'll do everything from, drawing a blank. Basically monitor network traffic for you. It'll record which clients are using how much data, which ports are using what data, if you have any fan failures, a lot of the communication through SNMP, but there's also certain APIs that you can call specifically for HP switches and a lot of other equipment. So very cool stuff. Yeah, if you're wanting to monitor, PRTG, it's made by Paceler. Or as far as management, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Zachary Solis, $5. Thank you, Zach. I don't have a real question. I just love the show. IRQ 3, 5, 10, or 11. Boy. I've always been a fan of 3, if it were me. John, you have any specific IRQs you like putting devices on?
No. None.
But IRQ 3 is my sound card.
No, I do not.
I remember those days. Do you remember those days trying to solve IRQ conflicts between PCI and ISA devices?
Oh, that I do remember. It was a pain in the butt.
Yep.
Property this, property
yeah,
that.
Skull says 5500 should be CommWare. That's what I thought. Because there's 3 main branches of HP switches at this point, because they haven't reconsolidated after the HPE split, plus the Aruba acquisition, plus whatever else that HP liked to run in the background. So you've had a number of different OS versions and languages and context menus and things like that inside of their own switching platform. It's never really been unified. But there's Comware, there's Aruba OS, and then there's ProCurve. And they are all vastly different from one another and not necessarily compatible with one another, which is always great. You can get like an HP firmware GBIC, like DAC cable, and plug it into an HP Comware switch, like a 5900X, and an HP ProCurve switch, like a 2920, and it goes, nope. Either one end or the other will hate it, and they won't work.
Oh, what the?
You okay?
Hang on. Oh, no. I might have unplugged my power brick.
Oh, no.
Somehow.
At least you didn't blue screen on us this time. Someone says IRQ9.
Yep. It was just a hair out.
Let's see. How did I get into IT?
Either that or my son did it.
Yeah, that could be.
Don't need those. I'm inside.
What are you doing with the sunglasses there, John?
Oh, they fell, and I was like, I don't need those. They're inside.
Yeah.
I'm inside.
I didn't know it was that hot in your garage. Got your own son in there.
That's right, I do. I'm just that hot.
Yep.
Well, Jeff, with this complexion, everything just reflects off me and just like, it's blinding.
Yeah. No, I know. I have to turn the contrast down for your stream.
I know. It's bad.
Mm-hmm. It's so saturated.
I'm constantly blown out in all of my videos.
Yeah.
I have to go like ISO 1 for all of my videos. It's like, no, I can't see anything.
Stop it down. Stop it down. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Someone asked a little higher up, how did I get into IT? Who was that? That was Justin. Justin asked how I got into IT. I kind of both fell into it and strived for it kind of from the very beginning. So I started building computers when I was about 11 years old. Both taking them apart, putting them back together, figuring out problems, and not in like Johnny's really great with computers, and Johnny plays games all day. No, like I spent all of my lawn mowing money buying myself a 486 to put together from spare parts I bought from this enterprise surplus dude who opened up a shop next to the local bike shop, and I think I spent about $35. But I built myself a 486 from spare parts. That was my first PC. That was actually mine that I built. Yeah, I've always built computers and always been overly enthusiastic about the entire space. And had a couple of jobs, did a lot of contract work, private contract work for small businesses, real estate offices, things like that, while I was working some other odd jobs in retail. And in 2007 kind of fell into a somewhat corporate gig. And like I said, started on the help desk, kind of like a quasi help desk manager / also help desk grunt. And eventually 4 years later took over the entire department and was the manager for 9 years. So yeah, that's how that happened. Literally fell into it. I'm old enough that I found my job in a newspaper classified section.
I'm pretty sure I probably know the newspaper too.
I bet you do. I bet you do. Yeah, so that's how I got into IT. Was my stepmom was reading the local paper and the classified section, and she goes, "Hey, I found this job you might be interested in." I'm like, why do I want to apply to an IT job in 2007 that only knows how to post in the classifieds? But I did. But at that point, I got really interested in enterprise hardware. Like I was already interested in like server stuff, but I had no bearing or any context for that interest. But at that point, I started getting interested in like actually running servers for organizations and the intricacies of all that. And my enthusiasm kind of exploded beyond that from getting that job. So, and all of a sudden, I had money to spend on like used server gear. So,
yeah.
Let's see. We missed a couple of super chats here. There we go. Andrew, Mr. Green. Thank you, Andrew. $5. Setting up a Bedrock Minecraft server, DMZ or port forwarding. I'm old school. I always go port forwarding because it's reliable, consistent, not rule based. You could do DMZ if you're really kind of... All right, sorry. I guess you're asking, should I do DMZ and should I do port forwarding to said ZM? You can do a DMZ if you really are concerned that inside of your Minecraft server, someone can break into your local network. It's not a bad idea. I don't know how realistic it is. I'm not up to date on the latest in Minecraft Bedrock server vulnerabilities. I'm sure there's some. I'm sure there's some CVE pages out there that would be a lot of fun to peruse. But I don't think it's necessarily required. I run a Java Minecraft server, and my Minecraft server is just on my local network. Now, it's a whitelisted Minecraft server, so you have to be on my whitelist to be able to join it, and it's only family friends, and we don't get new joinees all that often, so the best you're going to get is a deny request out of my server most times. But yeah, a DMZ is not a bad idea for that. But as far as port forwarding, yeah, you're probably going to have to port forward. I don't know which ports that Bedrock uses, but yeah. Alex, $2 Canadian. Thank you, Alex. Any GPU ideas for a Parsec server in an R715? Let me refresh myself on that. R715. I want to say it's a 2011 V1 server. Come on. Oh no, Opteron. Wow. Dual Opteron server. Let's see. Yes, you do have... It looks like you've got 4 full-size PCIe slots, and then either 2 half slots or 1 half slot, and the second full size if you have the cage. Or no, that's 4 full and 2 halves. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of options that you can do for that, assuming you have power for the GPUs, because that's going to be your biggest thing. Is do you either have the GPU cables built into the server, or can you adapt a set of Molex cables into the proper 6-pin or 8-pin for a GPU? Yeah, there's a lot of different options. My most recent Proxmox build, and in fact, I'm hopefully releasing a tutorial on that on Friday. It's been a heck of a week. Don't get into it on why I haven't posted a video in almost a week now. Yeah.
Your last one was pretty big.
Last one was pretty big. This one is also very big. It was 9 pages of scripted. Single space script. Yeah. This is a big one. Anyway, tutorials coming out Friday for how to set up Proxmox as essentially a vGPU host. And as far as graphics cards, you can use anything that runs Maxwell, Pascal, Turing, or Volta. You cannot use a brand new Ampere card, but and also I put a disclaimer in there that the more video memory in the card, the better it is, because you have to split the video memory between your virtual machines equally. You can't say like, oh, I'm going to give this machine 6 gigabytes and this one 2 gigabytes from an 8 gigabyte card. No, you can do a 4 and a 4, or you can do 4 2s, or you can do a single 8 if you have an 8 gigabyte card. And that's it. Those are your options. You can't mix and match either. You can't do a 4 and 2 2s. Doesn't work.
Even divide.
Yeah, it's even divide straight down the middle, and then you divide those down the middle, and that's all you can do. But I ran successfully 3 1070 Ti's in this server, and it worked fantastic. You can go for some enterprise cards. The Tesla P100, which is the Pascal 100, is a 12 or 16 gigabyte Tesla card. It's about $1,000. It's expensive. But that'll get you essentially the same core that's in a 1080 Ti, but with 16 gigs of RAM. So if you wanted to split that up into like 4 GPUs with 4 gigabytes each, it's a pretty good option. Other than that, I've also got some options coming up for GPU-P. I'm going to be testing out a Maxwell card that's kind of fun. This is the Tesla K80, which has two GPUs on it with 12 gigs of video memory each, and each GPU has 2,500 CUDA cores. Like, it's an insane amount of card. Now, it's still Maxwell. It's not necessarily the newest architecture, but it's a crazy little card. And they're only like $200. Like for like a GPU-P solution, this might be the best bang per buck that you can get. So I have a video coming up on those here shortly. But yeah, if you have 1070s, 2060s, 2070s, those are fantastic cards for vGPU.
Son of Tech gave a very, very wonderful donation.
I just saw that. Wow.
And no comment, just a happy box.
Son of Tech, fantastic YouTuber. Go check him out. He does a lot of really great stuff with his channel. If you're into mining, and I know that's a dirty word in the gaming business, but if you're into mining, go check out his channel. He's done a number of different things with that. So good to see you here too, man. All right. Where did all my windows go? Crap. Where are we at? I'll find us. And then an interesting couple of days. But yes, yeah. Son of Tech, thank you. Thank you.
Everyone's now complaining, Jeff, that you have no audio.
What? Oh, did I hit something? Check. I see my audio.
I mean, I hear you, but we have something different. But no audio from Jeff.
What in the world?
I got lots of people saying no audio from Jeff. Muted.
I don't see a mute.
Can anyone hear me?
They're saying no audio at all.
Oh, no, they're saying they can hear me.
Okay. So tell them I'm working on it.
All right,
I don't know what happened.
Working on it right now. Let's see. Hang on. What do we got? Audio. Yeah.
I see in OBS my audio meter is jumping.
Yeah. So they're saying, I got a couple people saying you're in and out.
I'm in and out. Yeah. Did I hit my cable?
And then some people are saying they can hear me just fine, and they're saying you're cutting in and out.
Cutting out? How's that? Check.
Audio, okay. I'm seeing audio now.
Back. Okay. Cutting in and out. Yep.
We can
audio
hear you
now.
All right. So that was good. I probably just a loose wire.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if I hit my mic cable.
I didn't hear anything, but yeah.
All right. Anyway, where were we at? El Polo CS. Oh, Steve's got some competition.
Oh.
Anyway, El Polo CS donates 50 Argentinian dollars. Thank you. Hi, what do you think about Zabbix for monitoring? I was thinking about using it with a Discord webhook. I've known a number of people who run Zabbix. I don't have a lot of experience with it personally. Most of my clients, we ended up running PRTG as it was insanely scalable and also very modular as far as what you wanted to monitor, and would also do multi-site monitoring for us. So yeah, unfortunately I have no experience with Zabbix, so... But I've heard good things about it. I have heard from a number of people who do use it. Yeah. Joe Rafferty, $2. Thank you. Or £2, as it were. Please ask wee baby Aiden to go the F to sleep. Oh, yeah, Joe's kid. Okay.
Yes. Joe's kid.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. I had to read it twice. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I actually skipped over when he said "we." I was like, what?
Sorry. All of a sudden, I've heard of 4 different baby Aidens, and so I'm like, which baby? What? Huh? What? Okay. Baby Aiden. Take Samuel L. Jackson's advice and go the F to sleep.
Just as the book says.
Go to sleep. There you go.
Star.
Let's see. Shinra. Shinra, I think. 3D printing tech. Thoughts on the space, and do you have one? I have 2. I do. I'm still getting started. I just bought them about a month ago. I only have one of them up and running yet. I have to build the other one still. So I have the first 3D printer I bought was the Prusa MK3S Plus. That's the one that's still in the box because I haven't had any spare time to assemble it. But bought it on the recommendation of a number of different people who say, I bought this thing and it is just amazingly rock solid. The other one that I have is the Elegoo Mars 2, which is a small form factor resin printer, or SLA printer. And that one I've been having some fun with. I've got a couple of projects. I don't know if they'll show up on here, but they will be showing up as like a Patreon exclusive. Patreon float plane exclusive, excuse me. Building different things with that printer. Haven't designed any parts myself yet, but I do have a Raspberry Pi, one of the Nano Raspberry Pis, or gosh, what's the $5 one?
Yeah.
Micro, Pico?
Yeah,
no, the Pico is the controller.
The Micro Pi?
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about.
Pi Zero.
Pi Zero. Duh.
Why was that not...
I know.
Anyway, I have a project with a Pi Zero that I'm building right now that should be a heck of a lot of fun, and will actually end up sitting on one of the shelves back here. So, but no, entirely resin printed, and I've been really having fun with that printer.
So we're getting more comments that your audio is cutting in and out again.
What the crap?
I had at least 4 or 5 people. Yep. Saying that it's not completely out, but it's just going off and on.
Okay. How's that? Now I'm peeking. Check.
Now I don't. Now
I'll get you, John.
Oh, okay. I mean, I know Joe.
Let me think. How do I?
Nope.
I know. YouTube can hear me now, but you can't.
I can't hear Jeff.
I know. I need a technical difficulty screen. Really do. Okay. Let me see. Oh, here we go. All right, John, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, there we go. Figured it out.
It's very faint, but I can hear you.
Yeah, it's not going to be great, and I apologize for that.
You just switch mics?
Yeah.
Onboard mic?
So now I have you on this one.
Oh, okay.
And then everyone else is on an overhead.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll be better. And I'm gonna see if I'm gonna see if I can turn up my headset mic
the gain
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm maxed out on my end.
Let's see here.
And they're saying, got Rev saying you're tinny.
There we go. Check.
That's good. I can hear you.
Okay. Tinny, yeah. Well, I just went from a large diaphragm mic to a little pencil shotgun, so
yeah,
I'm gonna be a little tinnier by comparison. All right. Hopefully, we'll get through this now. I don't know what the heck just happened.
Oh, excuse me.
Let's see. Malincor, $2 donation. Thoughts on Unraid? Had trouble with TrueNAS. Unraid is great for certain circumstances. It is not my personal favorite system to run. I don't like typically JBOD systems which is just a bunch of disks in a RAID. So for those unfamiliar with the difference between like TrueNAS, which is a true NAS system, which is an actual NAS system versus something like a JBOD system in Unraid. JBOD is known as just a bunch of disks, where you can take a 2 terabyte drive and a 6 terabyte drive and an 8 terabyte drive and a 12 terabyte drive, and I found another 1 terabyte drive, and here's a 256 SSD, and just like slam disks in. And then you say one of these disks is going to be a parity disk. And so this disk is going to hold all of the parity data for every other disk that's on the array. And we're going to use all of the space and then use so many disks for parity. And if you lose any of the disks, you can just slide another disk in there. And as long as you have enough free space, it'll add it to the pool and you're good to go. The problem is performance. It's a very low performance environment. And for my storage needs, I've never ran into an instance where I went, you know what, 50 megabytes per second is just fine. Like I've never been there. And I know you can do cache disks on Unraid, but performance is a pretty heavy penalty over a genuine NAS, RAID, ZFS, etc. So curious to hear what problems you had with TrueNAS, or what needs that you had that it wasn't meeting, because that could be an interesting conversation. I have nothing against Unraid at all. And in fact, it works well for a number of different organizations. I mean, famously, Linus Tech Tips uses Unraid for their entire backbone. I wouldn't do that, but to each their own, and it certainly works. So, yeah. Ryan, $5 donation. Thank you, Ryan. What got you into beer? I could never get into it. Every time I try one, it ends up tasting the same as all the others. As Rhett would say, buckle up.
I assume he's talking domestic.
I'm assuming you're talking domestic. So if one beer tastes like all the other beers, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're probably drinking Budweiser, Coors, Miller,
name brand Super Bowl beers.
Right. If they have a Super Bowl commercial, that's what you're drinking. In fact, what got me into beer was the opposite of that. Was I hated the smell and flavor and aroma and everything else that came with domestic beers, with your Bud Light, your Coors Light, your Miller Light, your Heinekens, your Miller Genuine Drafts, your Rainiers, I couldn't do it.
The bottle room aroma.
Yes, I've told that story a couple times. The bottle room. Oh God, the bottle return room. You know the little thing on the top of the can that says deposit in what is it? California, Nevada, and a couple others, and then there's Oregon and Michigan, 10 cents. This is worth a dime. And every can that comes back to the grocery store, you get a dime for. Well, someone has to clean those damn machines, and that person was me.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. So, ask me why I don't like domestic beer. That's why I don't like domestic beer. What got me into craft beer was going, there's got to be something more than the crap that I've been trying to drink. And people always talk about, more flavor. What does more flavor actually mean, and what does it actually taste like? So let me go buy one of these really weird looking beers, and I'll go with that. And for a lot of people in the Northwest, it usually ends up being some type of Deschutes or Widmer that'll get them in. For others, you'll drink a Blue Moon, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, Belgian beers are amazing. And then you'll try like a flat tire, and then you'll try this and you'll try that, and before you know it, you're comparing the finer notes of barrel-aged barley wines, and it is a slippery slope into hell, my friend. So, is it worth it? Yes, because there are some fantastic flavors to explore out there that are more than just the ricey Pilsner that you get from pretty much every single domestic. Every single domestic tastes the same because they're all very, very similar on grain bills, and the grain bill is determined by cost, not by flavor.
Yeah, so when you're putting in rice husks as part of your grain bill for majority of your malt, you're going to get pretty much the same flavor. I mean, if you even talk about or look at the beginning of the video when Jeff and I explained the two beers we're having, how blatantly opposite are the two beers that Jeff and I are having. He's having an IPA, a double dry hop that has pineapple and guava notes.
Yeah.
To where I'm now having a wild fermented, oaked aged, double fermented with a sour ale with cherries.
Yeah.
That is not your typical beer, but they are both beers. And even now, they are experimenting with so many new styles of beer. I mean, some of them might not technically should be called beer, but still, there is enough out there to find to match for anyone. I have family members that don't like beer, and every time we get together, it's like, here, try this. And they're like, oh, I could drink that. I could drink that, or I could drink a little bit of that. That's an interesting one. It's always how I loved doing when I had the tap room was people would come in majority of the time. One of the spouses or significant others didn't like beer, and I was like, well, just let me know what you like. We specialize in oddities. Yeah, and we found them like, oh, I can drink this. This is great. I didn't know beer. This was beer. Like, oh yeah, this is beer. And just like Jeff was saying, a lot of people's gateways here in the Pacific Northwest is like Deschutes or Blue Moon or Widmer.
Yeah, the Widmer Hef is a big one.
Widmer Hef, exactly. And you go and look, oh, Hef. I want to try another Hef.
Right.
And then you buy a different one. Oh, that company makes this. I want to try this brand. And you're like, oh, this is what's this called? A stout? Oh, I like stouts. This is a dark beer. What's this? And then that keeps going and that keeps going and just becomes a money pit.
What I would recommend is not necessarily diving in with both feet or jumping in with both feet, is because if you jump in with both feet, you'll end up with some double dry hopped Mosaic and Citra hop that is just like,
don't buy either one of the beers that we just got.
Right. Start yourself with, go to Safeway. Find yourself a Safeway and go down their beer aisle, and don't look at the domestics. Go to the end little aisle, like the last 1/3 of the aisle, and find yourself something that sounds interesting. Because they'll have mixed in there. So you've got all your Bud and your Coors and Miller and that thing at like taking up 2/3. The last 1/3, that's where you find Blue Moon and Widmer Hef and Arrogant Bastard IPA and Stone IPA and things like that. Go to like a major grocery store, go to that little skinny section that they have, and just try a couple. That you don't recognize.
Yeah, and try getting a dark, a hoppy, a pale. You'll get like 3 or 4. Don't buy just a big 6-pack because that's probably going to overcost you. If you didn't like it, then
now you got $9 in beer you don't want.
Now you got exactly. So it's almost worth buying those bombers of like, okay, look, go spend $12 on 4 bombers.
Yeah.
And now if you don't like it, okay, great. You only had that one of it.
Yeah.
And you can go try. You have
Widmer Hef Shandy.
There's that too.
There's a gateway drug.
That's a gateway one right there. If you like the lemonade style, and it is technically a beer, and it's not as sweet as say a malt liquor or those wine coolers.
Yeah.
It still has a bit of weedy, cloviness to it. Cloviness is now for Widmer Hef, but still, a shandy can. And it's cut with grapefruit juice.
Yep.
So it's only about 3%, but it's very great in the summertime.
Yep.
So lots of cool stuff. And if you can, if wherever you're at, if it's allowed, go find a tap room and go get a sample tray.
Yeah. Funky Monk sends over £1. Thank you so much, Funk. I'm assuming you want me to tell Aiden to go the F to sleep as well. David Ackland sends over $5. Thank you, David. Just lost my FreeNAS install. Lost about 8 terabytes of non-mission critical data. I forgot to back up encryption key. Oh, no.
That's not good.
Yeah. Even if you have good backups, you needed a backup of your encryption key. Man, I'm sorry you had to learn that one the hard way. Oh, that hurts. That actually hurts. I'm sorry, man. That's terrible. Thermosteak, $10. Thank you very much, Thermosteak. Appreciate that. Would you recommend an R815 or an R720XD for a VM machine router firewall? What is the 815? If that's another one of the Opterons, I would not recommend it. 4-socket 2U rack. Oh, God. Yeah, AMD. No, leave that one the heck alone. R720 all day long and twice on Tuesdays. For VM machine, I didn't even read your specifications yet, and I'm already saying no. Avoid the Opteron. For router firewall, Chia server type jobs with NetApps, 4246 JBOD, aiming for 512 gigabytes of RAM and a few RAM disks, Chia related. Yeah, if it's all Chia, and you can get the 815 at a steal, and you can get a crap ton of DDR3 at a steal, and just set up, a 512 gigabyte RAM disk, yeah, that might be a way to go. If you want to do anything else where performance is even marginally important, 720 all day long. So you're going to have essentially the same RAM bandwidth between an R720 and... No, you'll have more RAM bandwidth on the R720 still, because that's 8 channels of memory versus... No, I guess 8 channels of memory also, because it's a quad socket server. Yeah, so you'll have 8 channels of DDR3 regardless of which solution you go with. But, man, the 720 is so much more powerful in so many more ways than you can fathom, and it doesn't suck electricity like it's going out of style. So I would say R720 unless you get the 815 for like $100. That's my recommendation. 815 power consumption is high even at idle. Yeah, we said Opteron. I think we already covered that. I did the Opteron 6283 or 6383 SE. And some Opteron fanboys lambasted me in that comment section, going, well, it was never meant for gaming. It was meant for, like, virtualization. Yeah, do you realize the Xeon kicks its ass in virtualization, too, right? Like, it's not even a contest. Like, there's sometimes you get beat, and it's okay to get beat, and you come back, and you... The Opterons weren't even playing the same sport. So... Beer samplers are your friend. Henry, that is a fantastic point. Ryan, if you are still listening, find a tap house and buy a couple of flights.
Yep.
That's 4-ounce tasters. Usually cost you about $10. And you will get 4 craft beers that sound interesting to you, and you will find to learn what you like. Oh, yeah. And then you can get and you'll also get usually higher quality beers at a tap house than you would find in a Safeway or something like that. And so you're actually spending your money a little bit wiser, going, I really like this Belgian style beer, or I really like this.
Yeah. And if you go to the bartender and say, hey, describe me the flavors of this beer, they should be able to do a pretty good job.
Any bartender worth the salt, right?
Yes, exactly. If you can't find one, or if you're looking, honestly, go sign up for Untapped. It's a free beer social media site, and you can look up basically any beer that's out there, and 99% of the time there's a description in the beer. I was like, here's the flavor note profile that this beer is supposed to give, and then you can kind of scroll through it and see what honest people's reviews are. Like, I like this beer, I hated this beer, and that takes a little bit more time for the intro person. So maybe, but if you had time, that's so. But I like to use it to keep track of beers that I've already had. Just like at the beginning, I didn't remember having the beer Jeff had because it was last October. But
he's had so many beers since then.
I've had so many beers since then. I haven't even checked in all of my beers from last March.
I was saying, and keep in mind, he didn't drink beer in March.
Yeah. So I have so much. I am probably 1,000 beers behind on check-ins. I went one day of work, I think a couple months back, and just like, you know what? I'm going to spend the next like 3 hours at work because it was a slow day. I got to recheck stuff in. I still didn't scratch the surface.
Yep.
And I'm so far behind.
Ryan says, if only you could taste words. Well, if the bartender, like I said, if he's worth his salt, he's going to say, like, oh, this German beer has notes of like banana and clove. And so if you can kind of like, you know what banana tastes like, and you know what clove, same thing goes with a lot of IPAs. Like I said, this is guava and pineapple juice, and it's delicious.
Don't be afraid of the term IBUs. IBUs nowadays, it's more of a looser term because there are so many new hops out there that are super tropical flavor, but it gives a high, an IBU is a international bittering unit. It technically can give you high bittering units because of the alpha acids that are in it, but those acids taste very fruity and not bitter. To where Jeff's one was a very fruity hop. And so you can get a beer that's 90 IBUs and be like, wow, this literally tastes like pineapple juice. And you can get another one that's 60 IBUs, a lower number, like, this tastes like grass.
Yeah.
It's just the type of hop they use. So, and if you know certain flavors you do like, go to the bartender and say, hey, I really like these type of flavors, sweet, even just do something very generic, sweet, bubblegummy or chocolatey, roasty. You like coffee? They can probably find you stuff to try. And even then, they'll even probably give you like a 1 ounce taster. Like, here you go, just try this, because they want to sell you on like 16 ounces.
Yeah, you can get a taster for free. Oftentimes. Now, you're not going to sample the entire board.
No, you'll probably get like
unless you start working at John's Tap House. Here's 2 ounces of everything.
Oh yeah, I was nice about that. I wanted people to be happy.
You did. I was especially happy when I was there.
Yes. Yes, you were.
All right.
Especially when I wasn't there and Jeff was still there.
Yep.
Surprisingly.
Crap. I didn't do our first sponsor spot, did I?
You did not. It's already been an hour.
I meant to do that 20 minutes ago and I forgot. So I think we're going to read a sponsor spot. We're going to go about 15 minutes and then I'll read another sponsor spot. And in between that, I'm going to crack open a new beer. So one that has not been on the show before. Today's episode of Talking Heads is brought to you by Roguecast.com, an online store for the modern PC enthusiast. We've all tried comparison shopping on the usual sites, filtering products by price or spec, or even what's recommended by the best review. All too often the specs don't match the filter, half the reviews are fake, and the components you need are out of stock anyway. Roguecast is introducing a brand new way to buy hardware. Gone are the tacky, over-the-top company promotional videos backed with dubstep music. Instead, you'll find dedicated product reviews from the reviewers you know and trust with actual information about the products you want. Are you looking for a new graphics card right now? Follow Real Roguecast on Twitter to get stock alerts so you can finally complete that build you've been putting off. Visit Roguecast.com today and get all the PC parts you need, backed by honest reviews at a price you can afford. That's Roguecast.com, and thanks to them again for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you, Roguecast. All right.
Rev, I've had a good strawberry beer. Yeah, Jeff had a great strawberry beer before.
I had a fantastic strawberry ale with like real strawberry in it.
That's right. It was a jammy sour before jammy sours existed.
It really was, wasn't it? I didn't know you had to hit the back of the bottle to get those out.
I called it Heinz Strawberry.
Oh.
Someone did ask early on. I think it was Gil asked how the two of us met, and I put in the comments. I was like, $10 says Jeff's gonna say the strawberry beer story if he reads this.
Trippic sends over 5 more Kiwi bucks. Thank you very much, Trippic. This is to go to the Replacing Dead Hardware Fund, seeing as how you have good luck with hardware. Thank you. That's all I'll say is thank you. Bastard. All right. Moving on. Let's see. Someone asks, how many drinks do you have per week?
Oh. Well, that depends on the week, but
depends on the week.
Not as many as you probably think.
And that's my answer as well.
Our lives are very social, media based, and you have a persona you kind of give off, and it's not necessarily always true. Majority of the time, like for me, it's like, oh, it looks like I'm drinking. It's like, no, not really. Like, and if I do, it's probably something very light, or maybe an ounce to like sip on, and that's about it. I'm not sitting there chugging these beers away, checking all these things on Untapped. Majority of the time, if I ever do have a full beer, it is the 2 times I film during the week, and then probably on the weekend, like, because I'm working at my farm, so I'll do it at the end of workday.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay. And on Discord, people already know. They've seen, like, okay, I probably have like 2 beers on Saturday, 2 beers during the week. I might have like a snifter sometime at night just for the nightcap. And that's probably about it.
Right. So me is very similar. Again, I get comments all the time about, man, this alcoholic and that. It's like, just because
you're promoting alcoholism,
just because every picture you've ever seen with me has a beer in it doesn't mean that that's all that I do in my life.
Every meal I have a beer.
Right. It couldn't be farther from the truth. For lunch today, I had a sugar-free Italian soda. So come at me.
Technically, I did have a non-alcoholic beer with dinner.
Right.
So.
Ooh, yeah. Wednesdays is the one day that I will really open big beers, and I open them here on the show because I enjoy sharing this hobby with all of you. And very occasionally I will open a big beer on a regular show, like I did for my It's Finally Working, I Want to Celebrate with a friggin' 17%er. Or no, that was 11.5. That's right. That was the I don't know if you saw my VGPU video, John, but I opened a Governor's Reserve Pirate Stout from 2017.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. I totally saw it. I was scrolling through, I think it was Twitter, and I said,
"Oh, that's right."
I didn't even see what it was, but I was scrolling super fast, like I recognize the beer.
he goes, "I didn't even see the 17 GPUs. All I saw was that wax seal."
Yeah, I was like, I know it. I was Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, I know that. Oh yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, as far as beers go, sometimes during the week, I will have like one of the Kirkland Session IPAs, which is like 4.2% with lunch. Like I'll have that like maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
The rest of the time during lunch, I'm having seltzer water, or I've got some sugar-free syrups that I'm adding to it, or just straight up water. I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of tea. Drink a lot of not a lot of coffee. I usually have like 1 cup of coffee per day, which I have large cups of coffee. This is a 16-ounce coffee mug. So I make my coffee in pints, but I only have 1 pint.
Yeah.
They make it in pints? I'm getting one. But yeah, it's the 2 videos that I film per week. I will open an IPA, or a stout, like 8%-ish beer. I might have 2 session IPAs at 4.2%, 2 days a week for lunch, and then I'll open a couple beers here on Talking Heads. And that's pretty much it. I mean, very rarely anymore do I do nightcaps or dinner drinks or anything like that. Number one,
I rarely do dinner drinks.
Yeah. When I was working, it was a dinner drink every night. Let's put it that way. It was, I got home, I made myself an old fashioned, I sat down for dinner. That used to be my routine. But it's never really more than one drink. So Wednesday is the only drink that I have multiples. Tonight it's multiples. So gonna need an affiliate link for that mug. I assumed as much. Let me grab that really quick and I will add it to the chat. It's in here somewhere. There it is. Find it.
But yeah, no, I mean, why do you think I have so much beer? And Jeff is constantly complaining my beer fridge is getting fuller and fuller and fuller. People are sending either us beers or we're buying beers, but we aren't consuming them at the rate that we're buying them.
Not even close.
Yeah, so it's just we have to buy bigger and bigger fridges to hold all of this beer, and it's just
So John, you know my mini fridge behind me.
Yeah.
And it's not really mini. It's like 6.5 cubic feet. It's 100% full. Like, I could not fit another bottle in there if I tried. We have a total of 3 fridges upstairs. We have 2 in our kitchen and then 1 more out in our garage. And the one in the garage was supposed to be for like overflow, like multiple gallons of milk and cartons of eggs and things like that, because we go through things like that a lot. I've got a couple of kids, so we're making eggs every morning. We're making cereal all the time. Yeah, it's a constant flow. So that's like our consumables fridge. That fridge is now 95% full of beer. I'm not even joking.
Oh, I know.
And in fact, I have some instances where I have the 4 packs of pint cans on like laying all across the bottom, and I've had to turn them sideways and sit and slide them on top. So I have like the full pints and then 2 cans set on top of those all the way back. I think there might be like a 2-liter of club soda out there and like a 12 pack of eggs, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, no, that's even my huge double door commercial fridge.
Yeah.
I'm now stacking stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So we own much more than we consume.
Yes, way more. Like I was telling someone in chat, it was just, I do like, I think it was Rev was stating it, but I collect beer. I was like, yeah, I collect beer.
Skull, thank you. Keep talking.
I collect beer to share with people. Like a lot of the big beers I have, I go and try a sample of it. So Jet, we were talking about sample trays. So I'm like, I'm going to go try 4 ounces of this beer somewhere. Usually, I will admit, usually like on every other weekend now, there's a nice new tap room area here next to where I live called Topwire. Fantastic little outdoor tap room place. It's like 7 taps, but it's in the middle of a hop field. So I'll go there for like 2 beers sometimes on the weekend. But I'll go sample a nice big beer, and then I'll buy a big bottle of it. But then I save that bottle to when Steve or family come over.
I didn't know they made whale pods this small.
Oh,
it's cute.
Is that a 4-pack?
It's a 6-pack.
Oh.
It's a 6-pack. Skull reminds me, is there any beer mail this week? Yes, in fact, there is. Mr. John from over in Rhode Island sent me a nice little care pack here. So let me break this thing open. As 2 of them slide out, that's okay. Alright. So, John sends us a care pack. First off, we have Treehouse Coffee Company. Double shot. This is the double shot gold. There we go.
Ooh.
Double shot gold American Stout, 9.2% from Treehouse Brewing.
Treehouse is amazing.
They are. I've got a couple of them in the fridge, and I've never been disappointed by something from them. Also from Treehouse, this is the Very Green Double IPA.
Green. I've had that one. It's a great IPA.
I've heard of this one. I have not had one myself, so that's very, very exciting.
It's got a bit of a hot burn, but it's still very juicy.
That's okay. So I've got the green and the Very Green.
I've had both of those.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I got both of those. That's 7.5 and 8.3% respectively. Let's see. This one took a little bit of a beating on the way. Also from Treehouse, Mega Treat.
Oh, I have not had that one.
That is a psychedelic looking can, let me tell you. So this is a double IPA, 8.7%. Nice.
I did.
Another Treehouse, Perfect Storm, American double IPA, 8%.
Oh, nice.
And finally, Impermanence.
Juice Machine. That's the one I did the video on.
John, this one sounds right up your aisle. So this is the Imperial Milk Stout of the bunch.
Oh.
Impermanence. An Imperial Milk Stout brewed with coffee, chocolate, and maple syrup.
Oh, that is right up my alley. sounds very similar to what I made.
Yep. Yeah, your oatmeal stout over there?
My oatmeal stout, bourbon and coconut rum, barrel aged with maple and oatmeal.
Nice. All right, so I think we're going to get to cracking my second beverage of the night.
Oh, what do you have? Oh, wait, what is that one? Which one is that? The Big Bad?
Big Bad.
Oh, I can top that.
I know you can.
Or you know what? I can go see if I think I even have that. What
do you
year
have this
is
bottle?
That? What year is
this? Is 2020.
2020.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, John knows it right from the bottle. So for those who didn't catch it, this is the Big Bad Baptiste from Epic Brewing Exponential Series Imperial Stout. This is a stout with cocoa nibs, coffee, and aged in whiskey barrels. 11.7%. And these are fantastic. Not a beginner beer. Ryan, stay away from this one. Pick up this one once you've introduced yourself at least to dark beers and kind of gotten used to the roastiness and whatnot. It's like starting to drink whiskey and scotch. You don't go for like the Glenfiddich 18 right out of the gate. You start with a nice like Highland Scotch. So Novella Hub, $5. Here's some money to buy another fridge. I feel like that I contributed to your issues. You and a couple others. It's not so much that one of you overflowed me, it's that all of you overflowed me kind of at the same time. And also, I went on a little bit of a spending spree about a month ago, and I bought a number of different bombers and whatnot. I live next to a couple of fantastic outlets for getting craft beers, like rare craft beers. And unfortunately, I'll walk down the aisle and it's like, I gotta have that one. And so a lot of it's on me. Like I don't want you guys taking the blame for this one. It's on me that I filled that fridge. But you guys didn't help.
All right. I do not have any 2020s. Everything I have is older. So I will go with the 2019 rare release Big Bad Baptista Hazelnut Vanilla, aged in whiskey, roasted with cocoa nibs, coffee, vanilla, and roasted hazelnut.
Nice. I also have the 2020 double chocolate, double peanut butter in the fridge.
I think I have the 2019 of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other one that I considered cracking open tonight, but I went, no, I think we'll go standard. I think we'll go standard this time.
So, I mean, it's the same base beer, so...
Joe, my God. Love that name, by the way. $10 donation. Thank you very much, Joe. I got a T320 8-bay with PERC H70 or H710. Issue is I only have two Seagate HT 3TB drives and a Toshiba P300 3TB. Would it be worth getting two more 3TB to run a RAID 6 so long as I have them spin down on idle? Ooh. I can't say that I really recommend running those 3TB for long. You saw my issues with my...
Aren't the 3TB the worst ones to have?
3TB... There's some conflicting data on this. So I'll give you a couple of data points, and then I'll also give you some conflicting data points. Anecdotally, I've seen much more reports of 3TB failures prematurely than I have of just about any drive capacity. I'm talking about 3TB drives in general. As far as empirical data, Backblaze did a survey back in 2015 where they found a 47% fail rate of Seagate 3TB drives that had been deployed less than 3 years. So 47% chance of failure over a 3-year period. And that was for drives manufactured in 2012. I can tell you that the Seagate constellations that I bought that were manufactured in 2013, I bought 16 of them. I experienced a 48% failure rate over just under a year, just under 9 months. Now, again, anecdotal, and I've also seen some claims of this, that because of the proximity to the Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan, pretty much the top-end drives that were coming out at the time were 3TB drives. This is back in 2012. That there may be an issue with a lot of the raw materials that are being used in 3TB drives in general, because 3TB was kind of an odd number. You don't really go odd numbers that often in tech. I mean, Seagate has some 5TB 2.5-inch drives, but those are SMR and use a different technology. But for the most part, it's been round numbers. It's been 1TB, 2TB, 4TB, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. So the threes were just kind of weird. And they were produced at a time in which there was a very major nuclear disaster. And it's quite possible that 3TB drives from just about any manufacturer are not as reliable as they should be. And like I said, anecdotally, I've seen that as well. Like if I have a 2TB and a 3TB and a 4TB sitting next to each other, I'm putting my money on both the 2 and the 4. I don't care the manufacturer. HGST 3TB are mega cheap right now. Yeah, most 3TB are mega cheap right now. I'm about to liquidate my 3TB for like $15 a piece on some unsuspecting Chia miner. Oh, we doing that game again?
Well, G-Pilot asked me to do it. Question. Sorry to interrupt. Curious about your beer. How does yours taste?
Mine is fantastic.
Is it? What barrel age did you say it was?
Or
is it just regular?
Whiskey.
Whiskey. Yeah. Interesting.
Cocoa nibs, coffee, and aged in whiskey barrels.
Mine's basically the same thing, and then they added roasted hazelnut.
Yeah, you got hazelnut and vanilla.
And vanilla.
Yours. Which is funny because there's actually like a caramely, vanilla-y sweetness to this. It's a very rich but lighter flavored sweetness.
I think you're right to drink it now. This has not aged very well.
Really?
It is kind of sour, actually.
Huh.
I've noticed, for my personal taste, a lot of whiskey stuff can become sour some reason.
It can.
Coffee itself can also give you a sour note, depending upon how they add the coffee. So I am not too impressed with this one. It's not horrible, but you know how we always talk about dark sours?
How there's no such thing on purpose?
How there's no such true thing as a dark sour. It was a stout that they messed up.
Yep.
Yeah, this tastes like a dark sour.
Yep. What's the ABV on this one? Well, if it's under 6%, it's a Dunkelweiss. If it's over 6%, it's a dark sour.
Yep, pretty much. That's kind of what it tastes like. Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's tartar than my wild fermented oak aged beer.
Really?
Yes, it is much tartar than that.
No, it's chocolatey on the very back end, but like I said, there's this real light sweetness. Like, you have your richer flavors, you know, your real dark chocolates and things like that. This is very much like the caramel and vanilla and butterscotch sweetness.
Yeah.
Where it's a much more
and then the Big Bad Baptist is usually like really good.
Mm-hmm.
The double's great. There's some other really good ones, but
yep.
Yeah. That's what you get though for aging beer. Sometimes that's
right.
You never know.
It's a crapshoot.
Crapshoot. So, and for all we know, this release could have been infected. Don't know. Yep. It happens even to Goose Island.
Yes, it does. Happens even to Fremont.
Mm-hmm.
As we found out.
Yes. Or even Firestone Walker. We had that.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Is the Firestone, the Manhattan.
The Manhattan, yeah.
The old Manhattan.
Literally same. Bought it from the same location. Both bottles tasted completely different.
Yep. One bottle was fantastic, and we drank that one off camera with the three of us, me, John, and Steve. And it's like, that is a Manhattan. That is everything I want out of it. But it's also malty and fruity, and that's so good. And then we went to
make a video out of it.
We got to make a video out of this one. John goes, well, I got one more bottle. And so I went down to John's, and we made a Manhattan and drank the Manhattan. And we had the beer again, and we both kind of like drank it and looked at each other and went,
this doesn't taste like I think it really was like the next day.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah, we met on a Friday, and then on Saturday we decided to film that video, and so I came over and brought Manhattan makings, and we did it, and yeah, we both looked at each other, just kind of going,
yeah,
that's
not
just
the
same.
A beer. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Let's see. Dunkel wants to know, how did I solve my offsite backup problem? Simple. I ignored it. Moving on. Here's the deal with my offsite backups. Is I cannot get anything better than 50 megabit on an upload. And I have right around 40 terabytes of data that I keep on site. Now, I do have a full backup of that, also kept on site in the same rack. And that's a daily backup that runs. And then I have a nice long retention period on that backup as well. So I have about 55 or about 50 terabytes of data in that backup server right now. But I have no realistic way to reliably get it off site. I've even considered doing differential backups and like having Backblaze send me a couple of disks, and I load all of my data onto there, and then I send it to them, and they put it in the cloud, and then I just send them the differential data. The problem is each one of these videos ends up taking like 700 gigs. And so all of a sudden that's almost a full terabyte that I've got to sling up twice a week. plus constantly changing data in other regards. And so I go through a lot of data on site, and unfortunately I don't have even 100 meg or 500 meg on and up, so there's not a lot I can do to actually get the data off of my servers and to a location that makes sense. So
Second sponsor.
Thank you. I remember. I swear I was. Today's episode of Talking Heads is brought to you by Linode. If you've ever needed to host your own servers, whether it be for home or business, but don't have the resources or time to invest in hardware, power, cooling, or even space, why not let Linode host them for you? If it runs on Linux, it'll run on Linode. That includes the software from most of the tutorials you found on my channel, like how to run your own ad-blocking recursive DNS server, VPN gateways, cloud-based Plex servers, and more. Linode makes it simple to deploy and manage your own cloud services, with solutions ranging from a single shared CPU to massive multi-core virtual machines. They even offer dedicated RTX 6000 GPUs for graphic rendering or machine learning. With shared CPU plans starting at as little as $5 per month and scaling up to as high as you need to go, you'll be able to find a hosting plan that fits your needs. Even if you do host your own servers, you can use Linode to keep your backups off-site. Because remember, RAID is not a backup. Visit linode.com/craftcomputing and get a $100 60-day credit when signing up for a new account and get your home lab or business started up today. That's linode.com/craftcomputing, and thanks to Linode for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you, Linode.
Novella Hub quickly asked, can I explain what a IPL beer is? That's pretty easy. It's a brand new style of lager. It's an India Pale Lager.
Right.
Yeah, it's essentially just your standard craft lager. Some people used to call them West Coast lagers, and they used to be just called hop lagers. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is just a lager that has been dry hopped like an IPA. That's really all it is if you're looking to get away from that.
I've always seen them marketed as either hopped lagers, and then we've also got hopped pilsners. I've seen both styles, and this is just assigning a specific name to it. And so the IPA wasn't always the IPA. It was, we made an overly hoppy beer so it could be transported from Britain to India, and it became the India Pale Ale and whatnot. In the same regard that a lot of different beer styles weren't exact. I mean, how many times have we gone from New England IPA to hazy IPA? And that's just recently. And that's just the beer finding its name. And I think right now the lager the lager with hops added to it, or dry hopped lager, has become popular enough and regular enough that they've actually assigned it a name.
Yeah, I mean, and IPL makes the most sense. Yeah, because IPA is an ale, and an L stands for lager. So they're lagering this, and so it's essentially kind of, think of it more like a session IPA, but the way that, so it's a lighter beer, supposed to be very crisp, very light, but a lot of hop notes. Most of the time they're doing it with those citrus hops, so Citra, Mosaic, probably some Strata or
Willamette,
Galaxy. El Blanc. So to give it not that dirty note, but that tropical nice note to accent that nice light beer. It's these new summer lagers, and so it's a very nice beer. And they're very new. So, but if you see hop lager, IPL, they're all the same thing. It's roughly only about, or West Coast lagers, what I've also seen once before. They're relatively new within the past 5 years or so.
Yep. I am actually a really big fan of hopped pilsners, but I don't see them nearly often enough. I like that crisp finish that a good pilsner gives you, but the problem is I don't want to spend $8 for a craft pilsner. Because it's 5.2%. Oh, here's another barrel-aged stout for $8. Cool. I'll take that instead. Hey, can you give the YouTube link for the Windows 11 event? Look up Windows 11 event YouTube link.
Yep.
As I say in the tutorial that's coming out on Friday, my comment section isn't nearly as effective as the Google search bar. Summer is coming. Watermelon beer? I've never been a fan.
Really? I like Hell or High Watermelon as a nice light beer.
Yeah. See, I tend to go more
21st
shandy.
Amendment.
I tend to go more straight shandy or even Radler.
I can see that. I do like a sour watermelon. So for summertime, I don't like the big hazy bombs because they're just too overpowering.
Yeah.
I do like either a nice traditional sour because they're lighter, a gose. They have that nice light and salty sweetness. Yeah, so experiment with those. You're going to find a lot of fruit notes in that as well.
Yeah.
So,
do you think Nvidia will continue the 16 series in the future? Nope. That's what new architectures mean. The 16 series was built on Turing, which was the first generation RTX architecture minus the RTX parts. So the 1600 series was kind of a stopgap between the GTX Pascal series and the Turing series with RTX enabled, but they didn't want to add the RTX cores to some smaller dies because of yields from the fab, and so they said, you know what, we'll just make some dies that just have straight up CUDA cores using the same Turing architecture minus the RTX and Tensor cores. Now they're getting good enough yields out of everything that they can do RTX top to bottom in their product stack. So, no, you will not see another non-RTX card unless RTX goes the way of physics, which it totally might, but not likely. So, especially since Nvidia has been pushing machine learning, and what does machine learning best? RTX and Tensor cores. So, why not make a gaming feature that takes advantage of the enterprise features that you're already trying to sell to the people who actually spend money? There you go.
There you go. Just curious. We did have a little bit of beer news. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it.
Sure, I could do it. I don't have the slides ready, but yeah.
Okay. Well, one's kind of tech-based as well. Has to do with 5G. So, and it's both up yours and mine alley. So.
Nice. All right, color me interested.
What cell phone provider do you have, Jeff? Oh, no, you're a Google.
I'm Google
right?
Fi.
You're a Google Fi.
That's right.
I'm a Verizon. My brother's not Steve, but Mike, my brother Michael, the one in LA. He has a T-Mobile, and a lot of people are T-Mobile.
Yeah.
And they came out with, what was it, like a year or two ago, their version of 5G, which is not real 5G, but it's 5G.
We can't call it 4G anymore.
Yeah, whatever. What is it? It's like what, 100?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. If it's good.
Yeah.
But
they also merged with Sprint, which has famously terrible coverage.
Oh, God, I know. But to promote more of T-Mobile's 5G network, T-Mobile has actually come up with, or is working with a company here in Oregon, in Eugene, a distillery in Eugene, to come up with their own 5G gin.
There we go.
This is something you and I could actually probably go pick up locally.
You know what? I read the title. I'm down. I want one.
And so they have a 5G gin and a 5G ginger beer. Mm-hmm. Which both of us love.
Yes, I had a ginger beer for dinner today.
So we can get our own.
Not a Moscow Mule, just a straight up ginger beer. Like ice, ginger beer, pour, done.
No, now we can make our own T-Mobile Moscow Mule. We can make some 5G gin and tonics.
Five gins. Five gin and tonics.
Their slogan is "It's 5G o'clock somewhere." I know it's dumb, but
they got to bed about 2:30 after writing that one, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, just like tech news, beer news was a little.
It wasn't
iffy.
Much.
It wasn't much, but this one I liked, and I was like, oh, I like gin, and especially it's from a it's Heritage Distilling out of Eugene, Oregon.
Okay, I know them.
Yeah,
and it's not Eugene, it's Eugene.
Eugene.
Yeah.
Nah.
Eugene. Yeah.
Eugene, Oregon.
You're as my old math teacher from Eugene, Oregon used to say, you're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Eugene.
So,
G gets the emphasis. U does not. Eugene.
Eugene, yeah.
There you go. Much better.
So,
Oregon. Oregon.
It's Oregon.
Yeah.
It's not Willamette. Willamette.
Shamawa.
Oh God.
Chamawa.
Yeah, Chamawa is what I hear a lot of. I hear a lot of people. Chamawa.
That's what my GPS says. Is Chamawa.
Shamawa.
And by the way, for all the people who gave me crap about how to pronounce Shakopee, come to the Northwest sometime. That's all I can say.
So they
come
say
visit. Come meet me in Puyallup, Washington, and we'll talk.
So they say it's a very garden-like gin. So I would be down to buying a bottle.
Totally.
I think if it's locally distributed, if I saw it at a liquor store, I would totally buy. I mean, if I bought Rainier gin, I will buy that.
If you bought Pabst whiskey, you'll buy that.
That's right. So either one.
Don't bring Rainier's good name into this.
Good name.
Name, I guess.
I think if Rhett stopped drinking them, their sales would go down 25%.
You're not wrong.
at least in the Willamette area.
Yes. Our Oregon sales are down 1/3. What happened? Well, Rhett bought a house.
Yeah, Rhett bought a house, and
Son
so
of a bitch.
He had to scale down to I think it's like Pale Horse or something like that. It's called.
He's been drinking a lot more Flat Tire lately.
Yeah, something a little cheaper. Rainier's too expensive for him now.
All right, yet again, you bring me Budweiser news on the show, John. What the crap?
Hey, well, everyone needs insurance, Jeff. Everyone needs insurance these days.
Everyone needs insurance.
And you know what? Even Canadians, they need insurance. And Budweiser is going to give Canadians what they need with barbecue insurance. That's what they need. But this is the true thing.
Have you ever ruined a rack of ribs? Because honestly, I'm down for this insurance plan. Yeah, I have a rack of ribs in my fridge right now that I'm thinking about for Sunday. And man, that's like a 4-hour cook.
It is.
Oh, if you do that wrong,
you got game. You're just like beef jerkying it all up.
Right.
But essentially, that is exactly what Budweiser is providing people. Again, exclusively for Canada. But it is barbecue.
Yet again, Canadians get all the healthcare coverage.
Yeah, this is but I don't know. Now, if like Lagunitas did this, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to sign up. I don't know if I'd want the Budweiser version.
Yeah. Can you at least give me like Sierra Nevada?
Yeah. So what they're going to be doing is essentially, it's not technically insurance. It's still just a giveaway, but it's a great gimmick. We've always talked about Budweiser. As much as we rag on their beer,
it's the barbecue beer.
Yeah, their marketing has always been phenomenal. Them, Miller Lite, the big three are great at doing
Miller Bud
jabs.
Coors. It's what you look forward to at the Super Bowl. It's why everyone watches the Super Bowl is because Miller, Bud, and Coors.
Yeah, and so, but essentially is if
Bud.
You do wreck your rack of ribs, you can then go and submit your story to Budweiser, your insurance claim, as they're calling it. And they will essentially reimburse you by putting you into a drawing to fix your barbecue. Now, I believe it's a couple 100,000 people will win, so it is a pretty likely chance. It's not like one person wins, but they'll send you a new barbecue, some aprons, $200 in beer or a certificate for beer.
That's a lot of Budweiser.
Yeah, it is. So it is kind of cool. So we do have some Canadian followers that do watch this show.
We do.
So that's why I thought I'd at least put this up there for
this
that.
This is a global show, by the way.
It is. I saw a couple people over in we got Sweden. We have people from
England.
Got
an Argentinian donation today.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Australian.
No, that was New Zealand.
But we have Australian.
We have Australian viewers, but the donation was New Zealand. So
yes,
New Zealand, I recognize you. You are on my map.
Those Kiwis.
Those Kiwis. Have you ever been to the subreddit World Maps Without NZ?
No.
It's a collection of people taking photos of out and about. Like I went to like Pottery Barn today, and here's like this coffee table that has a world map on it, and there's no New Zealand on it. And so it's nothing but that, but New Zealand being left off a world map.
Oh, their tiny little island. What is it? Sheep and kiwi fruit?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's their commodity.
Sheep, kiwi fruit, and Lord of the Rings.
Yes, that's pretty much it. I think they have more white picket fences than anyone else.
Yep.
So there was one other one. We've done a similar story to this before, but I said we've done shipwreck yeast before.
Yes.
This one is kind of interesting because it's a shipwreck off of the coast of, I think it was Scotland or England, somewhere in the UK.
Scotland.
Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so 120-year-old treasure was found, essentially. And a lot of treasure was found.
Right.
And they're all sealed.
Right.
And so the interesting
Can I get one of these?
Right? I just want a bottle.
I want one. I so want one.
It is so well preserved that if you scroll down to, I think it's the third picture down, it even still has the name on the next one down. The name is on the label.
Oh, good God. It's on the wax seal still.
Yes. It's so well preserved. It's still that good. But they were able to extract the yeast of this and clone the original yeast strain. Now, the original yeast strain, as the scientists put it, was interesting. She described it as tasting like sweaty horse.
Right.
And she's like, no, this is a good thing because wild brewery fermenters will love this because they get a chance to experiment with things.
For Ryan, if you're still watching the show, that's not a phrase we used often with describing our different IPAs and lagers and things like that.
No. Sweaty horse is not a.
This one has a definite note of sweaty horse as well as lemur balls and.
Yes. No, as we have done some weird flavored beers reviews on here. Mm-hmm. Sweaty horse has never been a description we've talked about.
No.
And
that's a first
for me.
Direct
quote in the article. So if you want to look through the article, it's a pretty
although we have
article.
read about breast milk, whale fecal matter, guano, like
last week we did goose poop.
Yeah, goose poop. That's right.
Good. Yeah. I think I even tagged Goose Island. I was like, how come you guys didn't get on this game?
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. So, but that was interesting. And so the really cool thing, this isn't the oldest. I think the other one we talked about was like 210 years. So it's not the oldest, but I think this is one of the large.
Uh-oh. Did we lose John? Oh, there you go. You literally blinked out at the... Yeah, and you're still blinking out. John, can you hear me?
Yes, hello. Your internet connection is unstable. Someone's downloading. Can you hear me? Got me?
Yes, I got you.
All right.
John, are you there? John.
So, but I think this is one of the largest sunken collections ever found.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. And they were able to, because it was so well preserved, some of the other ones, the older ones, a lot of the bottles were broken or things were broken about it. This was extremely well preserved. Mm-hmm. And so this was really, really cool. I would love if anyone over in the UK sees anything about this, please go read this article if you're watching and see if you can find this yeast I will pay for the international shipping.
Oh, easily.
I want to know what sweaty horse tastes like.
I told you, Ryan, it is a slippery slope.
I have tasted everything
I need
else
this
in beer.
sweaty horse beer.
I need sweaty horse beer. This can be a Kentucky Derby sponsored beer.
Right?
I mean,
Hops and Brews exclusive.
Exactly. I will do it. I will drink it. I will drink a fresh bottle too. I have no problem doing that either.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is all the beer news as we have it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steve is outside your garage stealing your Wi-Fi, Novella Hub says.
Probably. He's probably trying to get in and
I wouldn't put it
take
past
some
him.
of my beer. No. Well, I got all those Mother of Storms the other day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh my God! Oh, such a deal! Such a deal! I got you one.
Yeah, God, I got mine at a good deal, and I paid $27 for mine.
Exactly. No, they're like 32, 35.
Yeah.
And I go to the little once a week I go to again for samples, and it's I go to this little local tap room, and it's a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And they opened up a second location, which is they moved to their main brewery. And so they kind of neglect this small location. And so for them to kind of still stay relevant, they get a lot of rare stuff there. So that's why I really like it. And the local bartender there knows me because I'm usually the first one in the door. I go grab my...
It's 11 o'clock. John, what are you doing here already?
I'm like, yeah. Well, there have been plenty of times...
Well, I spilled a toner cartridge today.
There have been plenty of times I've beaten her there before opening. But usually it's like, okay, can I get 4 ounces of this, please? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, let me try this from a little... It's like, I just want 4 ounces of that. Okay. They had the barley wine. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
So for those who don't follow John on Twitter, John walked into this tap house and they had Mother of All Storms. What was it? 2018, 19, and 20? They
had a 19 and 20. A
19 and 20.
But it was full shelf all the way to the back.
Yeah. So they had Mother of All Storms from Pelican Brewing, which is a barrel-aged barley wine.
Oh, Steve's personal favorite. Yes,
his favorite beer of all times. By the way, they sneaked just under the Oregon ABV requirements, being one of them was 17.75 ABV, the other is 19.5 ABV.
Yeah, so it's not 20 is the max.
This is not mead. This is not a spirit. This is not an Irish cream. This is an ale. This is a beer. This is a barley wine.
Belt, yeah.
Right.
And so,
at like 19%.
Like Jeff was saying, a steal is $27 a bottle. That is a steal.
How much do I owe you?
$17.50.
Yeah.
That's how much they were selling them
for a 2-year-old bottle.
For a 2-year-old bottle, brand news are $35. For a 2020, they were selling it for $19.99.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my gosh! I bought Steve as a Christmas present. It was like a 2016 or something like that. And that was like $40. I was like, here's your Christmas present. And I saw these, and I was like messaging everyone on the Discord, like, you guys want this? You guys want this? Come on! I'm only here for like 30 minutes.
I know. I'm on my lunch break. You got to respond now.
I'm on my lunch break. You got to do it now.
Yes!
You got to do it now.
Yeah. So I have a 2020 in my fridge, and I have a 2020 on my fridge for when Steve can finally make it back up here for a live show. And so we're gonna crack that one open here on the show. But John reached out and said, "Hey, do you want a 2019?" And I went, "Well, I don't have one of those."
Yeah. So. And I was like, and then I said, "Here's the price." I was like, "That's basically half off."
Yeah.
Like, yes,
it's half what I paid for mine, and that's not even fair.
I know. Oh, it's ridiculous. And then I asked her, is there a limit on buying them? She's like, no, they're not. Mm-hmm. We're just going to get rid of them. Mm-hmm. What happened was, so they're one of the ones that when you're in the beer industry, it's not nice, but it is a pay to play.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they say they don't, but they all do.
They all do.
They all do. The main business, if you call them up, the brewery, they'll say, no, we don't. Because the rep decides who gets what. It is pay to play. You buy this keg and you host an event, and we'll give you 6 crates of this. We'll give you 6 crates of this. But you have to add it, but you have to buy it all. So it's like you pony up the money. essentially what it was because they had that relationship already built and they had to keep buying this. The stuff happened in 2020, and then they couldn't do events anymore of the release of that beer because it's usually a end of summer fall release. And so they
usually August to October we'll get the new Mother of All Storms.
The new Mother of All Storms. Yeah. And so because it's more of a winter fall beer. And they couldn't do anything with it. They were just holding on. They're like, we have to get rid of this because we had to buy it to maintain our relationship. We're selling it at cost, basically, you know, with a 10% increase just so we kind of make tips or pay the employee. Who's selling it.
Pay for the refrigerator to keep them cool on the shelf.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just, all right, I bought 4.
Yeah.
It was the most Mother of Storms I have ever bought and the cheapest I have ever bought them.
Right. The cheapest I've ever bought a Mother of All Storms, I think, is $24. And John goes, yeah, $17.50. I went,
oh, yeah. And the bad part is, they were there 2 weeks prior to that, and I didn't even I didn't even ask. That's the one bad part about this place is you have to ask prices on all of the beers. Yeah. Even the canned stuff and everything, they don't label anything. So it's like, how much is this? How much is that? Mm-hmm. Some places it works. For a little corner shop like that, yeah, it works out because, beer
there's a couple near me that do it that way too, and you know those shops.
Yeah, I know those shops.
Yeah, you know the shops. That's actually where I got the Big Bad Baptiste, which was only $13.
That's actually a good deal.
That's
a really good deal.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the local ones to me that sold it for $13. I also got the double for $14.50.
I prefer the double over the standard.
Totally, but I'm not going to snub my nose at either one.
No. So it is. We got 3 minutes. We've done a lot of Q&A. I didn't know if you wanted to talk a little Picard.
I think we have to. I was
like, it's curious.
Question time is over. I think we need to talk some Picard.
Yes, I'm gonna double.
Oh, we're getting the headphone down. Okay, we're blocking out the world.
Yep, it's like nothing else but this right now. Okay,
I am fully engaged.
We totally predicted the intro of Q. I mean, I'm pretty sure any Star Trek fan probably did, but we how many times have we said this is how they should have done it? I mean, The intro to the trailer should have been the ending of season 1. Yeah. Really should have been the ending.
It really should have been. Jean-Luc, the game is just beginning.
And snap, no Golem. That's really the only bad part I really hated about season 1.
Yeah.
It was that last part, the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, where it was like, we're trying to wrap it up, and all of a sudden, like, 7 of 9 and Raffi are a thing, and it's like...
It was like, what was that? And yeah, exactly.
They just met each other, and all of a sudden, they're doing this number. Like, I was like, don't. Like, I'm totally cool with that, if that's where the story goes, but they literally just met 3 days ago.
I know, and then, like, yeah, Raffi's son was like, this is stupid.
Right, there were a couple of sidelines that went on that I'm like, really? Like... That doesn't pertain to the story at all.
No, yeah, exactly. And so, but because, so the first trailer was amazing. I thought the first trailer was just great. It totally led onto Q, but it also led onto the first scene we saw of Data and Picard playing cards, and there's the Queen of Hearts, and then we get the Q, and I am super excited for Jean-Luc, you're so old.
Yeah. You're older than I expected.
You're older than I expected. And it's like, that's going to be that transformer, like, I have to look like you.
Right.
I would be even completely fine with a little bit of de-aging for that one scene.
I totally would be as well.
I'd be totally fine.
I want to see young Q. I want to see Stan. Does this make you feel any more human, Jean-Luc?
Yes.
And like Snap, and all of a sudden he's old Q, and it's like, you just explained everything because that's Q.
All you have. That's all you have to do. Please, I don't even care if the graphics is bad, the de-aging is bad. I want to see young.
I don't care if he looks like General Tarkin. I want to see young Q for like 6 seconds on screen.
Exactly. That's exactly what I want. That's all I want to see. I do think that will be the end of episode 1. That's how I think. I think that'll hit.
Picard's trying to figure out where the hell he's at.
He's at. Something's happening. It's going to be a very peaceful episode. There might be then the introduction of, say, a semi-major conflict that might be brewing.
Yeah.
And then Q shows up, and the world goes blank, and Picard wakes up like, what happened? What's going on? And we hear Q's voice, and that's the end of episode 1. And then episode 2 kind of explains.
So I'm rewatching the trailer literally right now, and we're seeing all of the different characters from season 1 kind of like wake up in different states. And so we see the Doctor, we see Seven, we see Captain Rios and whatnot. And Seven's probably the most startling because this.
Yes.
Where's this at?
There's that. If you notice her hand.
Yeah.
Her hand has a wedding band on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Seven is married and she's never been assimilated. I like that John went like she's married as the primary thing beyond like she's never been assimilated.
Yeah.
She's just Annika. She's not 7 of 9. Was she destined to meet Chakotay? I don't know. We'll find out.
No, yeah, right. I don't think. Now we are told that there's going to be a lot of newer recurring characters. I believe Geordi's coming back. I believe
Michael Dorn was seen on set a number of times.
Yes, Michael. Well, yeah, he was.
He was seen.
I want a bunch of Q references of like, where's the Chrome Dome guy, or where's the man with the ridges, or where I thought
better of you, Mr. Worf.
Yes, growl at me one more time. I want.
He gave Geordi his sight back at one point and then took it back away.
I want references to the older episodes with Q. I want him to sling something of like, oh, what, you didn't like it when you were Robin Hood, or where's your band of merry men now, Picard?
I am not a merry man.
Yeah, just a line. Yeah. I don't need a lot. I just want a line.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder though how much he is in this, as it is going to be more of a, I'm going to introduce Q, and then he does a snap, messes, and then it's going to be 6 episodes of messing with Picard.
No. So here's how.
Or 6 episodes of Picard trying to fix and figure out what's going on with the universe.
Right.
And Guinan's probably the only one that knows what's going on, or like she recognizes that something's off. That's why we're going to have Whoopi Goldberg back. That was already confirmed. And then the last 2 episodes we see Q again. I don't really want that because Q was always involved he would always randomly pop up.
Well, here's what I'll say is Q was the primary antagonist through TNG.
Mm-hmm.
He introduced other antagonists, such as the Borg and whatnot, but Q was always, from episode 1 to episode 131, the primary antagonist. He was introduced at Farpoint, and he was the series finale.
Yeah.
And it was the judgment of humanity. And like I said, you cannot do Star Trek Picard without doing Jean-Luc. The game is just beginning.
Oh, exactly.
Like, you have to include Q. And why Q was not included in the first series or season, I don't know. But we do know that Q is a constant antagonist. But at the same time, Q likes to like set a challenge and then snap his fingers and go, see how you solve this one, Jean-Luc. And then he comes back like 2 years later and goes, so did you figure out the question? Did you solve my puzzle? Kind of thing. And I love that Lower Decks took a shot at this as well with the crew dressed as like chess pieces with like a soccer goal in the background and also a field goal. And like, I think this is some sort of game. Q, I don't have time for this crap right now. I thought that was perfect.
Oh yeah. He's apparently, because that was him voicing it in season 1.
Yeah.
He's supposed to make another voice appearance in season 2.
Yeah.
Which was already then confirmed. They're already renewed for season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think. So here's the thing I think about Picard and why he wasn't introduced in season 1. Now I think it was because they didn't know how well received, if they were going to do a one-off for Picard, because this was kind of a big launching point for the CBS network streaming service. It was like, oh, there's Discovery, but we have Picard. Oh my gosh, you have to subscribe to our service to get Picard. And I think they're trying to make it a one-off. And then
Picard survived, and they went, well, shit, we need to sell them on a second season.
And like I was saying earlier, that last episode just felt like the writers were like, we never wrote an ending.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is doing really well. How do we end this? What do we do? Do we kill him off? I think they really did want to kill him off. I think they did.
I think they did. And they chickened out at the last minute.
I think so.
I think they got renewed at episode 8 while it was filming and said, well, we need to go with the Picard Live script.
Yes, exactly. And then, so that's what makes me think. And I think they botched that ending. And they're like, how do we make it a better ending? How did TNG end?
Right.
Q. How did it begin? How did it end? How do we end Picard? And that's the reason why I think Picard season 2 is the end of Picard.
I'll agree with that. What I will say is, I had a thought and I lost it. Hold on. I'll get it back. Hold on. Picard, season 1.
Season 2 is going to be the end.
Did they have the balls to kill him? No, I lost it. Sorry.
Sorry.
It's 10:07. This is a really good stout. What do you want?
Right? Yeah, we got to finish the beer.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some interesting cues in this trailer. Back to the trailer. We see Jean-Luc back in a Starfleet uniform.
Yeah.
We don't know if this is past or present because he kind of was semi-accepted back into Starfleet, or he's not a horrible guy.
Jean-Luc, you saved the entire universe again. I guess we will reinstate you as an admiral.
So we don't know if
or he never left because the Vulcan assault or the Romulan assault never happened. Mars.
Now, see, that's an interesting snap for Q. That never happened.
Right.
Because Data would still be dead. Data's
still dead.
Because then we still see what's her face in the trailer.
Allison.
Whatever
her name is.
Yeah. So we still see her. So if that never happened...
Sorry, I just know Allison Pills. I've seen her in other things. I don't remember her name.
Yeah, I don't remember her name either. The twin sister, because we still see it's her because she's still wearing the same necklace.
Yeah.
Of saying I have a twin sister.
No, Allison Pills is the doctor.
Oh, no, there's her, but I was talking the Data's daughter.
Data's daughter, yeah. So she still exists.
She still exists. So because we see, but we don't know if that's her because the twins both had that necklace, and in the trailer they're wearing that necklace. So if theoretically the Vulcan homeworld or the Romulan homeworld never exploded, that's what Q changed. Picard then would have just been an old admiral, just probably doing politics, which it kind of does look like what he's doing. He's speaking to a large audience. Or he got reinstated, and this is time travel.
And I love that the Ferengi are in the Federation at this point.
Oh yeah, well.
By the way, if no one caught that, there's a Ferengi flag in the background.
I did not catch that.
There's a Ferengi flag among the 8 Federation flags.
So,
right?
Interesting. But yeah, human. But we do see in the trailer, characters are. It almost seems they're self-aware that something happened too.
Yes, so, I believe that's part of it. Is that we see, like I said, we see all of these characters kind of waking up and going.
Yes,
doing that
ominous,
number.
very
Rios is the
Q.
most obvious one. So Rios and Picard were the two that struck me, because all of a sudden Picard is in the, not necessarily like a traditional Starfleet uniform, but he's got a comm badge on. He's got pips on, but it's a leather shouldered and black uniform.
Well, and it's the new uniforms. It's the new uniforms.
Right. No. Not when he's addressing the Federation.
Oh yeah.
But in the very opening of it, he's wearing a completely black outfit, but with black leather shoulders and a comm badge and pips.
Very kind of almost like his jacket that he had. What was that, season 5?
Like a Section 31 style thing.
Maybe.
Kind of halfway in between.
Maybe special ops.
Maybe I'm reaching. Like that. But
I think you're reaching on that
I'm probably reaching on that one. Anyway, but we see him, and then Rios was the other one that really struck me, where all of a sudden he's got a glove on his left hand, but he's got a Starfleet comm badge or insignia at least on his chest and whatnot, and he's reaching up and he's going like, what the hell is this doing here?
Well, and what's special about that one is
but he's on his own ship.
But it's got a special insignia on it too.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm looking over the Picard footage. It is not the traditional badge that we see in season 1 of Picard, where he kind of dusts off that communicator and taps it. It is a completely different badge. So yes, you're probably right. Something's different before Q enters in. So maybe that theory of Picard got back in the good graces of, damn you, Picard, whatever that admiral who started cursing for no reason, that stupid scene. The pointless scene. I will say, I do love Q's outfit of just like the black.
Oh, it's so great with the full formal and the little handkerchief on
I think he
pocket square.
I think he looks great in it too. I think. Yeah. Was it John Delancey or whatever?
Yeah.
He looks good.
He looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Picard. Does this make you feel better about your age?
Yes.
Like there are so many different lines that Q could deliver there. That's just like.
I mean, just hearing him say "Mon Capitan" is like, oh, you know, he's just like, I'm right back in it. I'm back in it. I'm right back into that character. I'm right back in that zone. Yeah. I know exactly how to do it. You know, sometimes when you get old actors and they're trying to reprise a role, it doesn't quite work because they're like, I want to redo it my way, how I think the character would be now.
Right.
No, he's like, I'm going to keep it the exact same.
No. John Delancey as Q, holy crap, there has never been a more picture-perfect pairing in Hollywood history. Yeah. As far as like the arrogance and the entitlement and everything that Q has, because remember, Q is immortal and a god. Q has whatever power he wants to bestow upon himself that is allowed by the Q continuum, and he just likes toying with Picard. He found Picard and he goes, "You're kind of fun. Let's see how this goes if I change this or if I change that," and he just does these random things, and he's a phenomenal character, and it couldn't be embodied any more perfectly than it is by John Delancey.
Oh yeah, they tried with other Qs, didn't work. No, or other character playing other
There's
Qs.
A little bit of Q in Breaking Bad, and it's really weird.
Yeah, I know it is. But no, I think.
Snap! Planes crash in midair. It's like, oh crap!
yeah.
John Delancey's going, how did that happen?
That would have been great.
Cooking with Tuvix.
So I'm betting we're gonna get probably one more trailer.
Yes.
And then
It sounds like 2022 though. Like I'm guessing January because that's when they launched season 1 2 years ago.
That was season 1 was January.
Yeah.
So I'm betting we're gonna get October, November, another trailer.
Yeah.
And to remind everyone, the filming was delayed.
Yes.
Because of everything. So that's why. It probably would have been released probably winter of this year, maybe not fall.
I would say probably we'd be watching it right now.
Yeah, maybe.
Had it not been for because they were renewed before the season ended.
Yeah, true.
And so we would be watching that now.
Yeah. So, but I think because I'm really hoping because of that, they were able to refine script and plot points and really being like, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I don't mind. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. And also working out other people's schedules for more guest appearances. Especially if this is the last one, you kind of want to see as many TNG returners. I believe Beverly Crusher is supposed to be making an appearance in this season. And theoretically, I'm curious how, I guess Data could come back, but I am curious how they are going to do the whole Golem Picard Q thing. Will Q reference that he almost you're not quite yourself, Picard. Something's off.
You look old.
You look
You're
old.
older than I expected.
Statuesque or rigid or droid. Right. Something along that lines, because Picard is not technically human now. He is
in Q's reincarnation, Picard is back to human.
Could be. Well, we don't know how the time travel works or whatever, but we don't.
If Seven doesn't have her implant, Picard is still human.
Q can do whatever he wants, though.
If Seven doesn't have her implant.
No. Because
then last season of Picard lied to us, and Picard is no longer human.
No, wrong. Because remember the Q episode where he transports them to Nottingham.
Yes.
And that is not a
Captain,
hologram.
I must protest. I am not a merry man.
Exactly. And so Picard and the crew are still themselves, but he time traveled them back and then created a fantasy. It wasn't a holographic error. It was, no, we're back in time, essentially. So it's still the same people. And that works out to why everyone is freaking out and being like, I know what we are, or what I should be and where I should be at. And so that's why 7 of 9 freaks out, because she still remembers or is theoretically should be who they are. So maybe bodily wise, Picard is normal Picard, but mentally he's like, I know I died and I should be this Golem character.
Right.
But then theoretically he should still have an artificial heart.
Oh, he's always going to have the artificial heart because that happened in the Academy.
Exactly. Well, did the Golem take that away from him in end of season 1? Because at the end of season 1, that was the thing of right. Oh, they didn't clone that part. They never mentioned it. So people speculated that they didn't clone that. Why would you do that? And then said is,
you're not going to clone a heart defect.
They did
or
an
artificial heart. You're not going to do that. But at the same time, he's now android/man. Right.
But they said you're going to die at the same approximate age that we were expecting you to die.
Which is about another 6 years. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're 89. Oh, you got 2 years. Okay, we're going to waste the one Golem in the universe that's perfect for 2 years. Good luck. Thank you.
Well, it gives us an end date for this episode.
Yep. So I'm looking for it, and I'm looking
forward to... Is Picard just Venom at this point, looking for the next host?
No, but I am looking forward to January's Talking Heads.
Yep.
To where the last 20 minutes of every episode we get to dissect Picard again.
I can't wait. I'm personally just happy that we have new Star Trek to talk about. And it's relevant and people actually like it.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. I thought season 3.
Novella Hub says Dr. Pulaski has Picard's heart.
That would be the ultimate cameo. Or did she die?
Oh, I think she might have. Hold on. Who's the actor?
Diana. No, she's still alive.
Okay.
She's 82.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So
she's only 7 years older than Q.
So that I would love to see, like, her and Beverly Crusher being like, oh, we got to be the two top doctors.
Yeah.
In Starfleet.
Yeah.
Type of a thing. That would be the best troll.
We know Beverly Crusher eventually captained her own ship as a medical vessel and whatnot.
No, we don't. Now is an alternate universe.
That was in All Good Things. You're correct, but that's one of the things that probably happened.
No, that's an alternate universe.
Crusher was a commander on the Enterprise. She was third in command behind Riker.
Only because doctors have to take the command exam.
Right.
Head medical officers have to take the command exam.
But it was in order of rank. It was Jean-Luc Picard, William T. Riker, Beverly Crusher. Yes.
Okay. So
she was a commander.
She was a commander, but Data was lieutenant commander.
Lieutenant commander.
He would be lieutenant. So, but though I think
Geordi was lieutenant commander. Worf was lieutenant. Not promoted to lieutenant commander until Star Trek Generations.
Yeah, and then. But wait. So what was Data?
Data was lieutenant commander.
Lieutenant commander
behind Geordi.
So, but he was technically classified as third officer.
I believe at one point they kind of mentioned that.
Yes,
but technically Beverly Crusher outranked Data. Because
Data, I think it comes down to, though, it's when the commanding officer is incapacitated that the doctor takes over. But because of ranking, that's... could be another hole. Mm-hmm. But there was that episode where Data takes command and then kind of becomes serious with I forget what some of the officers.
Yeah.
But then why didn't Beverly Crusher then
where he dresses down Worf in the ready room. That was amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. So then why didn't Beverly Crusher take command? So I think that episode kind of explained that there is probably a hierarchy within the command structure of
Steve, never change.
What? What does Steve say?
Steve says, I want to see Beverly Crusher doing Starfleet PSAs about the importance of wearing space condoms, especially with androids.
Well, I want to see her do one of like the
you know
yoga
what, Steve?
Outfits.
They are fully functional and learned in many different techniques and positions and
so. But I would love almost a nod to Beverly Crusher and Dr. Polanski being like the top two medical field scientists, and they butt heads constantly.
Oh God, that would be amazing.
That's like just like I disagree and I disagree on this, and then for some reason they both have to like come together for like a heart surgery or some stupid thing like that, But everything else they disagree on is like. That's perfect. I just want that one-liner. I want that book to where, or even a reference of like, here's a paper I wrote but Dr. Polanski, even a reference, totally disqualified your theory on this. Something like that. Like, perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Something small like that. We do see the Romulan butlers are back.
Yep.
Which the Irish Romulan butlers.
I like them. I
did like them. The one things I didn't, the Tal Shiar butlers.
Yeah, the Tal Shiar butlers.
I didn't like how some of the tech in season 1 was, to where they're like, we can retrace the whole DNA in the room. I didn't like that. I thought that was a gimme. These are
that was the elite. CSI enhance of Star Trek.
Yeah, and there's more elite people than just the Tal Shiar. There's someone even above us. Like, what? Okay, and they're all female. What? And they hate androids. But
how really convenient!
Good. Yeah, right. But they can't scrub a computer. Right. I was like, what? Wait, you hate technology, you hate androids, but you have no idea how to scrub a computer, so you're just gonna like falsify files. But I did like their characters of the idea of ex-Tal Shiar agents basically saying, look, our planet is dead. Picard tried to save us. We get that. We respect that. And we're going to help this man who tried to help our planet and species. And I really like that.
Yeah.
So, we're at least we see the wife. I assume she's the wife. We didn't see the male character. So, but I'm looking forward to at least one more probably trailer, and then our weekly discussion, if not bi-weekly, because I'm only on ever so often. But you and I obviously are probably the two larger. The other two, Steve and Rhett, do enjoy Star Trek. They really do.
Right.
And they love their sci-fi, but there's other things. But you and I really.
But only you and I bring the gravitas to the
yes.
To the conversation.
Yes. So we really get into it into where we'll argue, and even online and Twitter, we will argue TNG versus DS9s and whatnots.
Yep.
So if you are looking forward to that, follow both of us on Twitter, Craft Computing or Hops and Brews, for the latest and greatest. Check out the Discord. If you are looking for an awesome community to check out, if you've even stayed this long for this video, the Discord is probably the place for you. If you like this kind of content, there is so much content in there. There's memes, there's trading, there's server work, there is going on to star charts now it is so many car parts. We have an exclusive Talking Heads area. There's general chat. We are probably one of the best communities. Like I said earlier, other hosts from other tech channels join this Discord just to be a part of it because it is so awesome. And all we ask is a minimum of at least $1, but more is always appreciated because it truly is one of the things that actually does put the lights and cameras in all of craft computing.
Yes. What he said.
What I said.
What John said.
The one thing I can do, Jeff, is a little bit of promotion.
Mm-hmm. At least you do that to earn a paycheck.
At least I do that.
This has been episode 189 of Talking Heads here on Craft Computing every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday for the latest in beer and tech news, or in podcast form on Anchor.fm or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you like the show, make sure to drop this video a like, subscribe to Craft Computing if you haven't done so already, subscribe to Hops and Brews, links are down in the comment section below, or video description as it were. If you like the beer content on this channel and want to learn more about it, John has a fantastic YouTube channel that you can certainly jump onto. We do this every single Wednesday night here at 8 p.m. Watch my normal videos, join the Patreon or Float Plane. And
don't forget, there is a super secret chat after this. If you want to get involved after this show,
if you want to see me with one more beer in me, join the after party by joining the Patreon or Float Plane.
Wednesday is our drinking day. So if you ever sat there and talked about we drink too much, Wednesday is pretty much the only day we drink.
The only day I drink.
The only day we drink. So, and if you want to see that, join the Discord.
I'm feeling a little rosy-cheeked tonight, so we'll see how this one goes.
I might go something light, or maybe just a hair snifter, maybe like 2 ounces of something.
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes, but I'm feeling a little rosy already. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this one, and as always, we will see you next week.
See you guys.
Cheers, guys.